You mentioned that voter ID, the question with voter ID comes down to, does voter ID cause a disparate effect on certain demographics? I'd like to just get your sense of the answer to that, in your opinion. And I know you're not an election expert. I know you're not necessarily a social justice expert as well. But in your opinion, do you think requiring identification for the purposes of participating in an election does cause disparate effects on certain demographics? And if so, which demographics are those? Why does it cause a disparate effect, and what can we do to help that?
Yeah, so I should have added intentional or disparate impact, obviously. And the answer to that is in general is it depends on the particular jurisdiction and circumstances. It's not, Supreme Court's made clear, and as I pointed out, the mere fact of requiring voter ID alone is not the issue. The question is whether it deprives individuals of the right to vote, and sort of what the risk on the other side, what the evidentiary risk on the other side of fraud is. So you can certainly imagine. You don't need to imagine. I think as a general at a sort of a high level, the question is: are there people in demographic groups, for example, African Americans, who do not have voter ID? For any number of reasons. They may not have, there may be people in poor and disadvantaged neighborhoods who don't have automobiles and therefore don't have a driver's license, who are unemployed and therefore don't have those kind of identifications. So the question of having a photo ID is, and to many of us is not a problem. Everybody we know has a voter ID, but that is not the case for many people all across America. And when it comes out that deprives people of their right to vote, we have a serious problem. And that is something that's determined on a case-by-case basis. And it is, as the chairman mentioned, it is a resource-intensive investigation to make a determination of whether in a particular circumstances voter ID has that consequence.